Today we are live, and actually, this is a live phone chat. If you want to jump in, feel free. The number is 870-571-3995. And today's topic, mind you, is Eddie Edgar Berlanga, right? And I believe that based on the fight between Edgar Berlanga and Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz last night, right? And Berlanga knocked Ortiz out in the first round, I think maybe in 20, 30 seconds of the first round, knocked him out cold, right? And I want to take notice to the fact that, in my opinion, Jonathan Ortiz was poorly out of shape. I mean, you could see it all in his physique. He was pudging uh, from being a little fat. I don't want to say a little fat. The man was fat, right? I mean, he just looked horrible. And I think that based on the fact that it has been alleged that he was out of the ring for 10 years, right? This was his first encounter with the ring in 10 years. And quite naturally, you're going to be rusty and things of sort if you're a professional boxer, right? 10 years is kind of like, why did you just retire instead of coming back, taking a fight with Berlanga? Berlanga is a super middleweight, right? And he's ranked, I think, up in about 7 or 8 around that area with all the sanctioning bodies. So I think that Eddie Hearns positioned this fight for Edgar Berlanga for the sole purposes of making the fight between Berlanga versus Plant, Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. Now, this is my opinion, right? Because right after the fight, post-fight interview, Eddie Hearns and Caleb Plant were basically building and promoting the proclivity for that particular fight between Berlanga versus Plant. And I think that that would be a good fight financially for everybody involved. But in my opinion, I just don't think, especially based on the fight between Berlanga and Ortiz last night, I just don't think that Edgar Berlanga is ready for a Caleb Plant, right? So, I mean, contrary to the fact that this is Eddie Hearn's job, this is what he do. He makes great fights, right? And the community, the fan base would probably consider this as being a great fight, but not me, right? I believe that Caleb Plant beats Edgar Berlanga by murder. I mean, it's going to be that bad, right? I'm saying that because Edgar Berlanga is a good boxer, right? He's strong, you know what I mean? He got a nice punch selection, right? Up and down, right? He got good footwork. But it's one thing that he doesn't have, and that is he doesn't have the ability to be considered a journeyman. Caleb Plant, on the other hand, Caleb Sweethand Plant, on the other hand, is a journeyman, right? And it's just going to take a whole bunch of energy for a Caleb Plant to lose to Edgar Berlanga, right? Caleb Plant, in my opinion, is one of the best super middleweights in the game, right? Contrary to the fact he got a loss or two, one by Canelo Alvarez, and I can't recall. Wait a minute. The other loss is to David Benavidez, right? Two excellent boxers, in my opinion, to take a loss from. You know what I mean? In that division is stacked with heavy punches, stacked with boxers, right? And at the top of that heap, in my opinion, who hasn't been challenged as far as championship capabilities is David Benavidez, right? So I'm just saying and making reference to these particular facts based on the fact that Caleb Plant is an excellent boxer. I mean, he has one of the most scientific minds, in my opinion, in the game. And for a Edgar Berlanga to challenge a Caleb Plant, right? It would have to be, in my opinion, based on the dollar bill. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, Edgar Berlanga stands a puncher's chance of winning over a Caleb Plant. A puncher's chance, right? And that's, you know what I mean? That's to say that if Caleb Plant slips and Edgar Berlanga catches him out of pocket and nails it, right? But as far as skill set, as far as experience, I'm just saying Edgar Berlanga doesn't have those qualities update. You know what I mean? Maybe if he continues to box and get in there with boxers, unlike Jonathan Ortiz, right? He might start growing and developing as to being uh, a competitive boxer for a Caleb Plant. But right now, I just don't think so. You know what I mean? And I personally, I got nothing against Edgar Berlanga other than the fact that he puts on a lot of verbiage when it comes to his opponent. Like right now, he's saying F Caleb Plant, Caleb Plant, Caleb Plant, right? Now, that type of verbiage is okay if you promote a fight, right? But to just start being critical of Caleb Plant, right? For me, as an ex-boxer, right, that would only incite me to want to get in there and whoop your butt. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of boxer I believe that Caleb Plant is too, right? I mean, Caleb Plant is good for the sport, and he's been good for the sport, right? And he has everything going for himself in reference to the sport, right? I mean, he doesn't talk a lot of crap. He has had occasion to talk some crap, but you started it. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to bring this up because I think that again, Eddie Hearn is doing his job. He's a promoter, right? And he wants to put on the best fights, right? But in this instance, I just don't think Eddie Hearn has arisen to the occasion of making a great fight between Edgar Berlanga and Caleb Plant. It just, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, why would you put him in there with a veteran like Caleb Plant? And then again, we also have to consider the fact that Hector Berlanga and Eddie Hearns had some words about the fight last night. Eddie Hearns threw him in there on the undercard, and I guess Hector Berlanga thought that was an insult to his integrity, right? And had some comments about that in regards to being upset about being on that undercard, right? But it was something in the contract that indicates that Hector Berlanga had to take a backseat to the main event, right? Even though he might believe that he's main event capable, but I'm just saying, right, to go in there and whoop on Ortiz like you did last night. I mean, it was just horrible, right? It looked like Ortiz didn't even, you know what I mean? I mean, he caught him, I think, with the first one was with a right hand. No, it was a right hand. Caught him with a right hand, right? Dropped him. You know what I mean? But Ortiz is a prior championship caliber boxer, right? He got up off the canvas, right? And again, Berlanga put him back down. Okay, got him back off the canvas. And again, Berlanga put him down, and the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, which was a good thing, right? Because Ortiz just wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I don't know how much time he had to prepare for Berlanga, but I will say this: Ortiz wasn't in shape, man. You know what I mean? And to go in there with a hungry, determined boxer like Edgar Berlanga, right? It made for the recipe that it entails, right? Defeat. You know what I mean? And nothing, no slight on Ortiz. But the fact of the matter is that was a mismatch. And I'm quite sure Eddie Hearns prepared that mismatch for the sole purposes of challenging Caleb Plant, right? So I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? And I don't make mention of this very often, you know what I mean? And I don't think that a lot of trainers do make mention of this, stuff like this, right? But I believe so wholeheartedly that the Creator gave me a gift to be able to train and seek out all the flaws that a boxer have and bring them to the table, right? And make that boxer prepared to take on any challenge necessary to get the job done. That's my skill. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna do a video about myself in regards to I'm not being given recognition because who knows of Jack Daniels, the boxing trainer Jack? Who knows of me? Other than the fact that I come on and I talk boxing, right? That's all you know, right? But the question becomes to me is no, see, I don't want to get off into this because I said I was going to do a video on this and I'm going to do a video on this. So I don't want to get wrapped up in this because there's a lot I got to say about the system as it pertains to being in a position to show your skills, right? It is. If it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't even have we wouldn't be even having this conversation about me believing wholeheartedly that I'm the best trainer in the world. I'm not going to go any farther on this subject today. Tomorrow, the next day, we're going to have that conversation, right? And I'm going to show you why it's incumbent upon me to believe that. You know what I mean? I mean, some people have gifts to be great baseball players, basketball players, lawyers, doctors. I have a blessing to be able to point at your flaws and correct them. You know what I'm saying? But again, who said that's true other than Jack Daniels of the Boxer Trainers Channel? Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to get off on that. But people, I need y'all to hit that subscription button, hit the like button, and drop a comment in the comment section and let me know if y'all think Berlanga versus Plant is a good fight or a disaster for Edgar Berlanga. And share the video with your friends and relatives. That being said, let me give a shout out first. Dragon. Now, the Dragon. Hey, you might like Berlanga, and that's all good, but he is not the GOAT. Never will be. And there's a lot of boxers in a 160-pound division that will have at Berlanga's butt. Caden Plant being one, David Benavidez being two, right? We're not going to speak of the Demetrius Andres and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So that garbage about Edgar Berlanga being the GOAT, and you said facts? I mean, come on, man. Take that garbage to another channel, man. I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And bring me some facts when you come back to my channel spewing foolishness. That's foolishness. That being said, I got to go.